Hello everyone and welcome to another new video. In this video we'll talk about some news that can impact the market today. As we know that today is the last day of this week, and in this video we will cover the US inflation data, we will cover the TCS quarter one results, and we will cover the GIFT Nifty today, that what are the traded range of Nifty and Bank Nifty today. So let's start from the give Nifty and from the Indian stock market, that the Indian stock market indices Sensex and Nifty 50 are expected to open on a cautious note on Friday, tracking losses in global markets. The trends in GIFT Nifty is up, so it's indicate a gap of start for the Indian market today. If we talk about the Indian market, Asian markets, then Asian markets are traded at lower levels, where the US stock market ended in the red overnight after the release of inflation data. Softer and expected inflation data increased bets the US Federal Reserve will cut interest rate in September. Interest rate futures suggest traders see an over 90% chance the Fed will cut rates by September meeting, up from about 74% on Wednesday, according to CME Group's Fed Watch. Now we'll talk about the Thursday. That on Thursday, the domestic benchmark equity indices ended flat with a negative bias, with Nifty 50 holding above 24,300 level, while the Sensex ended with 23 points changes or 0.03 to close at 79,897.34, while the Nifty 50 settled at 8.50 points or 0.03% lower at 24,315.95. After early volatility and a sharp fall thereafter, market recovered most of its losses to end marginally lower at close on selective profit taking despite optimism in global equities. We have already seen most of the rally parts before the budget, hence investor would be cautiously optimistic and may take selective bets over the next few weeks, said by the senior vice president of Mehta Equities. Now, if we talk about the Asian markets, then Asian market traded slower on Friday, tracking overnight losses on Wall Street and Nikkei leading the decline. If you talk about the Japan's Nikkei index, then it closed at 2.29% and the topics declined by 1.2%. South Korea's Kospi dropped by 0.94%, while the Kosdaq fell 0.19%. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index futures indicated a lower opening today. Now, if we talk about that what happened in GIFT Nifty today, then GIFT Nifty is trading around 24,462, which is indicating a gap up today in the Indian market and a premium of nearly 50 points from the Nifty futures previous close. And it's in a indication that it's a positive start for the Indian stock market today. If we talk about the Wall Street, that US stock market indices ended mostly lower on Thursday traded session, dragged by losses in heavyweights amid the release of US inflation data. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose at 0.08% of changes to close at 39,753.75, while the S&P 500 dropped 0.88% to end at 5,584.54. The Nasdaq ended at 1.95% of decline, lower at 18,283.41 points. And if we talk about some stocks, then Tesla share price tanked 8.4%, its biggest one day percentage drop since January in Tesla. Microsoft and Amazon shares each more each lost more than 2%, while Meta platforms stock price dropped about 4%. Apple stock price declined by 2.3%. If we talk about Delta Airlines, share slumps 4%, and Citigroup share price fell by 1.9%. Now, if we talk about the US inflation, then US consumer prices unexpectedly fell, and the annual increase was the smallest in a year. The US Consumer Price Index dipped 0.1% last month after being unchanged in May, recording the second straight month of tame CPI readings in the 12 months through June. The CPI climbed 3% and followed a 3.3% advancement in May. Economists polled by Reuters had forecast the CPI rising 0.1% and gaining 3.1% year on year. Now we will talk about the TCS quarter one result. That what are the result of TCS? Then TCS reported a net profit of 12,040 crores in the first quarter of 2025, registering a fall of 3.2% from 12,434 crore in the previous quarter. The company's revenue in quarter 1 2024 increased by 2.2% to 62,613 crores from 61,237 crores quarter on quarter. Revenue in dollar terms saw a 2.7% sequential growth at $7.5 billion. If we talk about EBITDA, then EBIT in the June quarter rose 3% to 15,442 crores from 15,918 crores in the March quarter, while EBIT margin contracted by 130 bps to 24.7% from 26% quarter on quarter. Now we will talk about the US jobless claims. Then the number of Americans filing new applications for unemployment benefits dropped more than expected last week. Initial claims for state unemployment benefits fell 17,000 to a seasonally adjusted 2,22,000 for the week ended July 6, the lowest level since late May. If we talk about the dollar, then the dollar dropped on Thursday after data showed deadline consumer prices unexpected fell in June. The dollar index, which measures the US currency against six rivals, fell 0.48% to 104.47, not far from the 1 month low of 104.07. It touches the previous session. Now, if we talk about the US Treasury yield, then the US Treasury yield, the US 2 years to 10-year Treasury yields fell to their lowest since mid March, while those on 20-year and 30-year bonds sagged to 2 week thought. Reuters reported the yield on benchmark US 10 years notes fell 7.4% basis points to 4.206%. The 30-year bond yield fell 5.6 bps to 4.4144%, and the 2 years note yield dropped 12 bps to 4.513%. Now, if we talk about the gold rate today, then gold prices steadied on Friday but headed for a third consecutive weekly rise after US inflation data. Spot gold was nearly flat at $2,411.87 per ounce and was up 0.9% for the week. US gold futures fell 0.2% at $22,417. Now, if we talk about the oil prices, then crude oil prices rose amid signs of strong summer demand and easing inflation in the US. Brent crude futures rose 0.4% to $85.77 per barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 0.6% to $83.12 a barrel. So these are the all news for today. I hope it's crucial for everyone or for me also. So thank you.